Good evening and welcome everyone. Tonight is the April 9th, 2025 meeting of the Brighton Town Board. I'm Bill Maley. Welcome everyone, and I call this meeting to order. We will begin the open forum portion of the meeting after a few presentations that we will have. Of course, the open forum is the portion of the meeting when members of the public can share their comments with the town board. And we get to that part of the meeting, I will give some more detailed instructions. If you're watching us, though, right now on YouTube, streaming it on YouTube, you will have to go and log into our Teams presentation of the meeting. You can go to the town's webpage, www.townofbrighton.org, for directions on how to get into the Teams, but that is, of course, the interactive remote presentation. As we have done for many years, tonight's town board meeting and every town board meeting is made accessible to the deaf and hard of hearing community. Thank you for our ASL interpreters. We appreciate your ability to communicate local government to all of the people of Brighton. Just a reminder, the agenda for tonight's meeting, as well as all of the supporting material we'll be relying on. If you're here in the room, it's on a table right outside. And again, if you're watching us remotely, it's all on the town's webpage. I would ask that we all rise, or if you're physically not able to rise in spirit. We'll start the meeting with the pledge to the flag. I'll ask Councilmember Salzman to lead us.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm going to start by asking newly retired Brighton police officer Jim De Niro, do you want to stay there and film or do you want to join us? Okay. Jim, come on up. I had to break the news to Jim before we got started tonight that the plaque didn't arrive on time. But that'll just give us one more opportunity to celebrate. When Jim and I were talking before the meeting tonight, he talked about how he was humbled to be here and by the recognition for 20 years of service to the Brighton Police Department. And that word, humble, so exemplifies who Officer Jim De Niro was for 20 years on the Brighton Police Department. And by humble, I don't mean that he wasn't a savvy police officer, because he was. But he was also a man who never, ever was too big for his britches. Never was a man who thought that because he had that badge, that he was somehow special or more important than you are. Because there was never a Brighton police officer more engaged with the community, more willing to stop and talk and exemplify everything that we've talked about for years when it comes to community policing, because that has been Jim De Niro for 20 years. It's hard to believe. We're going to go to the farmer's market, Jim, and maybe not see you in uniform anymore, but I know we'll see you because you are a Brighton guy, and that means a lot, and I know it means a lot to you. 2 weeks ago and a day, am I right, was your last day? We were down in the police department wishing Jim well. The room was full. A couple days later, great send-off at Perlo's restaurant in East Rochester. And each of those events was an opportunity for members of the community and his colleagues to tell Jim De Niro just how special he has been. And at the risk of piling on, that's exactly what you've been, Jim. You have been a terrific police officer. You have been a special police officer. They don't come like you every day. We're going to miss you, but we're proud that you have been serving the town of Brighton for 20 years, and we're proud that you're still living in the town of Brighton. Congratulations. I know you've got a new position where you're working with kids in Fairport, and that's a great thing. We wish you well in that and in everything that you do. Congratulations. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Well, thank you. I think I said everything when he left, and I don't have prepared remarks. Jimmy came on with me. He was one of my last recruits that I trained. And as I told him, he's got some stories that he may want to tell. He's been an honorable person, always great with the community. One officer I never had to worry about. If it needed a special touch, Jim was the guy I could send, and he could smooth out almost any problem that there was. So I know I'm going to miss him. I'm sure I'm still going to see him around. Not at Brighton Donuts anymore. It's many moons ago. But congratulations, Jim, for everything you did.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I had a great teacher. I'm not a big speech maker, but I would like to thank the board for allowing me and giving me the privilege to serve in this community. This is home. It's always been home, and I love it. And thank you. Very humble. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take the rest of the night.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Jim.
Like they used to say, but wait, there's more. And I'm going to ask Joan Swankamp to join me here. This year, the week starting April 6th, running through April 12th, is celebrated and recognized throughout the country as National Library Week, recognizing the important role that libraries and library workers and volunteers play in every community with a library. Lots of communities have libraries, but there's only one Brighton Memorial Library. The Brighton Memorial Library is such a community favorite. I remember, I think the first time they had this vote countywide, the Brighton Memorial Library was named the favorite library in Monroe County. Richly deserved. They retired the uniform. They can't be named as the favorite anymore, but we all know that the best library in Monroe County is the Brighton Memorial Library. You've heard me say before, but I grew up in the 60s as a library rat. I used to go to the library all the time, the Dunning-Huff Memorial Library in Plymouth, Michigan. It was a wonderful facility, but oh my, libraries have changed since the 60s. And kudos to the Brighton Memorial Library and everybody who is a part of it for driving that change, for embracing that change, and really making it a library that serves all the people. You know, you can get books, you can get traditional books at the Brighton Memorial Library. There's shelves of them. But Brighton Memorial Library has so much more. Everything from movies to music, serving everyone from toddlers to seniors and everyone in between. So it gives me, really, it's a privilege to be able to recognize and celebrate the people and the library of Brighton Memorial Library during National Library Week. Not only during this week, though, but throughout the year. I'm very pleased to introduce and thank Joan Swankamp, President of the Brighton Memorial Library Board. Thank you for the work you do. Thank you for the work that the Friends do. and we have a proclamation here that I will read. Whereas libraries are essential repositories of knowledge whose public purpose is fundamental to democracy, from promoting an informed citizenry to building community. Whereas libraries spark creativity, fuel imagination, and inspire lifelong learning through free and equitable access to books, digital tools, and innovative programming, where individuals of all ages can explore new ideas and be drawn to new possibilities. And whereas part of the impressive Monroe County library system, the Brighton Memorial Library is a cornerstone of the town of Brighton, an institution that reflects our community values of learning and teaching, and provides a place for sharing interests and making friends. And whereas the dedicated librarians and staff of the Brighton Memorial Library make it a welcoming, constructive place that empowers job seekers, supports career growth and economic success, promotes research and leisure reading, and opens a world of wonder in a way that only a library can. And whereas during National Library Week, remember what libraries have given to you. Be sure to get a library card. I got mine right here in my wallet. Consider volunteering at the Brighton Memorial Library. Make a visit to the library and bring a friend or neighbor to experience this singular place and cherish what is a sacred institution in this United States of America. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Brighton Town Supervisor William W. Maley, and the members of our town council do hereby recognize April 6th through 12th, 2025, as National Library Week in the town of Brighton, and thank all the librarians who stand as guardians of knowledge. And this proclamation is signed this 9th day of April, 2025, by myself and by my colleagues on the town board.
Thank you.
Joan, thank you. Congratulations. Good. And if you'd like to say anything, the microphone is yours.
Just a few words. Jennifer Reese-Taggart is been on medical leave, so she's not able to be here. But I would like to thank you on behalf of all of the library staff, the library board, and Jennifer. It's a real honor, and we're very appreciative, and especially at this time when so many government programs that fund our libraries are really under attack. It's really important for us to be recognized, and we thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, let there be no doubt. We stand behind the work of the library. We stand behind the library's place as a welcoming, diverse institution at the heart of our town. April 6th through April 12th is also National Crime Victim Rights Week. Chief, you want to come up again for a moment? Victims of crime often find their lives truly torn asunder. Physical and psychological impacts of crime are devastating. And so observing National Crime Victims' Rights Week is an important opportunity to thank, to honor those organizations here in the Rochester area, but of course across the nation, that help victims of crime. Groups like Willow, a group that we have worked with in many ways for many years, who make sure that crime victims receive the holistic assistance that they need following the crimes that have impacted them. So I have this proclamation. I'll be presenting it to you, Chief. Whereas the town of Brighton is committed to the safety of its citizens and to providing needed services for people whose lives have been negatively impacted by crime. Whereas public safety and protecting victims of crime have always been priorities in the town of Brighton, and under the guidance of Police Chief David Cathaldi, the Brighton Police Department works with the member agencies of the Coalition of Crime Victims of Monroe County, including Willow Domestic Violence Center, Lifespan, and the Monroe County District Attorney's Office to ensure that crime victims' rights are protected. Whereas the town of Brighton joins with countless other communities across our state and our nation in support of National Crime Victims' Rights Week, and its theme this year, Kinship, Connecting, and Healing. Whereas due to the impassioned work of citizen advocates before and after passage of the Victim of Crime Act of 1984, our awareness of the burdens borne by victims has greatly increased. But our work continues as we strive to respond to survivors' needs and create crime victims services that are increasingly inclusive, accessible, and trauma-informed. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, William W. Maley, Brighton Town Supervisor, and the members of the Brighton Town Board do hereby recognize April 6th through 12th, 2025, as National Crime Victims' Rights Week, acknowledge the suffering endured by victims of crime, offer our continued support to crime victims and their families, and encourage our residents and all Americans to uphold the cause of protecting victims' rights. And this proclamation is signed today, this 9th day of April, 2025, by myself and by my colleagues on the Brighton Town Board. I don't know who's taking pictures with you up here, but I will.
Oh, so we have a volunteer.
You do have a volunteer. Look at that. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Bill.
Anything you'd like to say?
No, just real quickly, I'll hang this up in our roll call room. It's what we do every day, and survivors' needs. I think that sums everything up. It's what I get up for every day and come to work, and what I expect out of the members of the Brighton Police Department is take care of the survivors of crime in this community and elsewhere. So thank you, and I'll hang this in roll call.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And finally, 55 years ago, there are one or two people in this room that weren't born then. But in 1970, people around the world, and certainly around the country, celebrated the first Earth Day. I was there too. In fact, I forgot to bring my button in today. Usually I'm wearing my Earth Day button from 1970, the Greek letter theta, which symbolized Earth Day at the time. I celebrated back in Michigan, but people, again, all over the country celebrated. And, maybe over time it's been, I don't want to say forgotten, but it's been a little easier. We've all been moving in the same direction, addressing issues relating to the environment. That's changed. That's changed in the last couple of months, unfortunately. We must reinvigorate our commitment to the earth, to the environment, to sustainability. In Brighton, our commitment to sustainability has been longstanding, and it remains clear and absolute. We have our Sustainability Oversight Committee, which provides valuable assistance to us. We are renovating Town Hall, driven by the need to replace our HVAC system, but the commitment to make the investment to do so with a geothermal system that will not only substantially reduce greenhouse gas emissions, but also over time significantly reduce the operating cost of heating and cooling that building. We continue to implement our comprehensive plan, Envision Brighton 2028, which of course was funded with a state sustainability grant, first cycle of plans of that type that was approved in the state of New York. And we continue to implement that plan with projects like the Multiversity Trail project. Just 2 weeks ago here, we heard our consultant and our in-house team present to us the Multiversity Trail plan, and we plan on presenting that and formally adopting that as another plan of the town of Brighton, with the opportunity to begin to implement the points that are laid out there in that plan. So tonight, we signed this proclamation, but tonight I also want to call on the community to turn all of our collective good thoughts into action, to continue, all of us, to continue to implement our climate action plan in its goal of reducing carbon emissions in Brighton, and not only from our own operations, but from the town as a whole. And we'll be talking more about that a little bit later tonight. So let me read the town of Brighton's Earth Day proclamation. And by the way, Earth Day will be celebrated on April 22nd. Whereas on the first Earth Day in 1970, 20 million Americans, 10% of the U.S. population at the time, took to the streets, college campuses, and hundreds of cities to protest environmental ignorance and demand a new way forward for our planet. Whereas the activism on what became known as the first Earth Day sparked the passage of the United States Clean Air, Clean Water, and Endangered Species Acts, and the creation of the Environmental Protection Agency. Sadly, we find that agency under fire today. Whereas the theme of this year's Earth Day is Our Power, Our Planet, calling for a commitment to renewable energy to build a healthy, prosperous, and sustainable future for all. Whereas solar, wind, hydropower, and other renewable technologies reduce pollution for a healthier planet, and with economic benefits worldwide through job creation and reduction in energy costs for families. And whereas the town of Brighton is deeply committed to a healthy environment and pledges to continue implementation of our climate action plan, to expanding our trail system for alternate modes of transportation, and to integrating renewable energies like geothermal heating and cooling and solar-generated electricity to town buildings. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, William W. Maley, Brighton Town Supervisor, and the members of our Town Council do hereby declare April 22nd, 2025 as Earth Day in the town of Brighton, and ask that each of us embrace the power of our community, joining the more than 1 billion people in 192 countries around the world who we expect will participate in Earth Day activities in order to help create a healthier planet. And this proclamation was signed April 9th, 2025, again by myself and by the members of the Brighton Town Board. And we'll be displaying this proclamation right here in the lobby in Town Hall. By the way, in our temporary Town Hall, which is itself a LEED certified building, State University of New York, Empire State University here in the Finger Lakes campus is located in a LEED certified building, which is a program that new building developers aspire to in order to demonstrate the environmental sustainability of the building. And there are many, many elements of this building that make it more sustainable with a smaller carbon footprint than the average building. So we recognize and thank our landlords here at Empire State University. Okay, we now begin our open forum, which we hold at the beginning of every town board meeting. The open forum is an opportunity for members of the public to address the board concerning any matter relating to the town, whether or not it's on our agenda tonight. If you are here, well, we don't have any public hearings tonight, so you don't have to wait. You can do it now if you want to address the board. If you're here in person and want to speak during the open forum, please raise your hand. When I call on you, please come up to the podium to speak. If you're participating in the meeting remotely and want to speak during the open forum, again, you must first join the meeting on Teams. And as I mentioned earlier, there are detailed instructions for doing that on the town's webpage. If you use the raised hand function in Teams, you will be admitted, you'll be unmuted and allowed to speak. I ask all speakers during the open forum, whether you're speaking in person or remotely, to please state your name and address. Please limit your remarks to 3 minutes, and I will give you a 30-second warning before your time expires. I understand you may have questions that we can't answer, particularly if those questions relate to a matter that's not on the agenda tonight, but our goal is always to give folks the opportunity to share your thoughts with us and for us to be able to listen thoughtfully in return. So please direct your remarks to the town board and not to the room or to other speakers. Please refrain from personal attacks and from outbursts of any kind, including applause or boos or any similar disruption during the open forum, out of respect for the speakers and for the time of everyone here tonight. Persons who don't follow these rules will be warned. Repeated failure to follow these open forum rules may result in your speaking privileges being terminated early, being directed to leave the room, or the early termination of open forum in general. Is there anybody here in the room tonight that would like to address the board during the open forum? I see none, and I also see no one that has entered our Teams meeting asking to speak. So if that is the case, the open forum is ended. And Chris, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Yes, Bruce.
Go for it, Charlie.
My farmer partner.
I knew exactly who you were thinking of, based on our conversation before the meeting.
Thank you, Bruce. I move to approve the agenda.
Second?
Well done.
We've gotten this far.
It's a good thing the agenda is short tonight. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner.
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt.
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado.
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman.
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Bruce says aye.
I like Bruce.
We have 2 items of communication. Can I have a motion to receive and file them?
I move that we receive and file the communications.
Second.
Tonight, we have a letter from Chief Cathaldi concerning the resignation of former Brighton police officer Stefan Behegwe-Tony, and also a communication from Chief Cathaldi concerning the resignation of one of his civilian employees, records clerk Tricia Sticko. We wish them both well. Any discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll on the motion to receive and file those.
Councilmember Werner.
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt.
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado.
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman.
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Committee reports. Robin, Community Services.
Thank you, Bill. The Community Services Committee has not met in the intervening timeframe since our last town board meeting, but I do have a few quick updates from our Parks and Recreation Department heads. From our Parks Department, facilities are still winterized until towards the end of April. This week's wintry weather illustrates why. The Parks Department is busy preparing equipment and facilities to transition from winter to spring operations. Seasonal laborers will begin shifts in late April and early May. The department has a new full-time grounds equipment operator who started on April 7th. We welcome Ryan Oakes. The Parks Department has been busy getting him acclimated, but he brings a great team-first attitude and has already made a positive impact within the department. The park superintendent has narrowed the field for the second full-time opening for grounds equipment operator down to another 2 excellent candidates, and we'll have a recommendation prepared for the Finance and Administrative Services Committee and Town Board soon. Seasonal park supplies are being inventoried and ordered. The mowing contract was renewed, and the goal is to begin mowing toward the end of April, weather permitting. Again, winterized facilities should be able to open by the end of April, barring any weather setbacks. Park staff is working to create new park entrance signs for our parks, which will be both welcoming and post some important rules and regulations to follow. From our Recreation Department, the Town of Brighton Recreation Winter Spring Program registration is ongoing for all activities. Check out all of the outstanding activities and events that will keep you busy in 2025. Full details are online at www.townofbrighton.org/rec. Brighton Summer Camp Playground Camp registration opened for Brighton residents on Tuesday, March 18th at 9 a.m. and will open for non-residents on May 13th at 9 a.m. Full details, again, can be found online. Camp registration has been strong. Many locations are already half full, so please register soon if your child does need to attend camp this summer. The Brickyard Bunny Trail is opened on the Brickyard Trail, either trailhead, either Elmwood or Westfall Road. It's now open and will be available through April 25th. You can venture down the Brickyard Trail to interact with Bunny in spring-themed stories and challenges that appear with the scan of QR codes along the way. This is a self-led, at-your-leisure type of tour, fun for all ages. You can stop by the Recreation Department to pick up your Brickyard Bunny activities for the kids. The Brighton Recreation Department will be hosting a Taylor Swift party at the Brookside Community Center on Thursday, April 17th. That is during April break. The cost is $20 per person. So join us for the ultimate Swiftie party. Activities include making friendship bracelets, karaoke, trivia, and a Taylor Swift dance sesh. Come dressed as your favorite era or your favorite version of Taylor. Again, registration is required as space is limited. We will be celebrating live music yoga in the barn again at 1345 Westfall Road, the Brighton Winter Farmers Market building on Saturday, May 3rd from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. So join us for a very special experience in the beautiful Buckland Barn. Yoga teacher Lynn Boucher of Yoga Revolution will lead a 60-minute yoga practice as Anthony Siciliano of Head to the Roots adds instrumental and vocal music to enhance your experience of connection with yourself and everyone around you. This event is open to beginners and experienced yogis alike. Registration is required, again, as space is limited. Please don't forget to join us for the Brighton Farmers Market at the Winter Farmers Market Barn, 1435 Westfall Road, on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Join us and explore all the wonders of the season. Again, SNAP and EBT benefits are welcome at the Brighton Farmers Market. Also, you can join us for Brighton Seniors Lunches Out and About. Check out our monthly calendar and join us on a lunch out and about in the community. The locations change, but we will always have a good time with friends enjoying food and sometimes lively entertainment. Again, full details are online. You can sign up for our monthly newsletter or stay up to date with all the fun things happening with the Brighton seniors. Again, full details on all Brighton Recreation and senior offerings are available online at www.townofbrighton.org/rec. Then again, I just wanted to point out some celebrations within the communities and events. Our Arbor Day celebration will be at the Tree Nursery at Buckland Park on Saturday, April 26th. I think the time is still to be determined, unless we have...
I have not heard
Yeah, okay.
from...
It is at, one moment,
Okay.
April 26th at 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Okay, thank you, Christine. And that same day, we have our Drug Enforcement Agency semi-annual pharmaceutical take-back event, which will be at the Brighton Town Hall Public Safety Wing over at 2300 Elmwood Avenue on Saturday, April 26th, again.
Actually, it's going to be here.
It's going to be here.
It's going to be here.
Oh.
Just
oh,
because of the construction and the
So-
inability to move traffic through.
So the DEA semi-annual pharmaceutical take-back event will be here at Empire State University, 680 West Fall Road on Saturday, April 26th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Our semi-annual electronics recycling and secure document shredding event will take place at the Brighton Highway Department parking lot at 1941 Elmwood Avenue on Saturday, May 3rd, from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Brighton Clean Sweep will be here at the SUNY Empire State campus at 680 West Fall Road, kicking off Saturday, May 17th at 9 a.m. And we will conclude over at French Road Elementary at noon to 2 p.m. Our community bike rides will be starting up again for the season on Friday, May 16th, with dates anticipated in July and September as well. This is a free event, but registration is required. Again, you can check out the details at the Town of Brighton Recreation website. The next meeting of the Community Services Committee will be next Wednesday, April 16th at 10 a.m. or immediately following our Finance and Administrative Services Committee meeting at the Brighton Recreation Center multipurpose room. Please do access the Recreation Department through the Winter Road entrance, and as always, members of the public are invited and encouraged to attend.
Thank you, Robin. Nate, Finance Committee.
Thanks, Bill. The Finance and Administrative Services Committee last met on April 2nd at 8:30 a.m. I have to say before I get started, though, our household hasn't gotten to Taylor Swift yet. We're still on Miss Rachel and Baby Shark. But I'm just thinking in my head, all these events, are they still going to be going on in a few years? And I'll be at every one of those Taylor Swift events, I'm sure. That's right. I wasn't going to sing it. I didn't want to do that to the audience out there, but now it's in my head.
Earworm.
It really is. So now it's in my head. We had a shorter agenda at the Finance and Administrative Services Committee meeting, but we did authorize the supervisor to enter into an agreement with Bond Schoenig and King with respect to the labor and collective bargaining matters for the Brighton Police Department. Fingers crossed, that's another good negotiation, I think. I could speak for us here, Bill, where negotiations went well last time, and I'm hoping that they continue to go smoothly. We also declared as junk a tow-behind brush chipper to be disposed via auction. Our next meeting will be right here on April 16th at 8:30 a.m.
Thanks, Nate. Chris, Public Safety.
Thanks, Bill. The Public Safety Committee met yesterday. We got reports from the various services. First, the Brighton Ambulance received a total of 520 calls within the Brighton Ambulance District and served 312 Brighton residents. They also received quite a number of mutual aid requests and responded to 99 mutual aid requests for outside of the district. The Brighton volume of calls is up 11.77% for the month, from 2024, that same month, which is a significant increase. We are fully staffed, though, and they added, as I believe it was 15 new members.
Very impressive.
Of the Corps. Their open house will be May 18th, 1 to 4, and they have their training center back up and running, and will be pushing community CPR at the open house in May. The fire department had 661 calls year to date. No calls of particular significance, but they are having the female firefighter day coming up, which was very successful last year, and led to several female recruits for our fire department. They also participated in the stair climb on March 29, which is a really grueling exercise, and performed very well. Bill Clark of the fire department reported on a apparatus near miss in the Canaborums on Route 590. in the past month with a vehicle traveling in the wrong direction on the highway and barely missed our equipment. No one was hurt, and we don't know where that driver ended up at 3 a.m. On the highway. Brighton Police had calls for services for year to date at the end of March, 10,488 calls. March the 21st, they had Hoops for Heroes, which was very well attended and quite an event. April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and there will be Put the Phone Away or Pay for April the 7th through the 14th. This replaced the You Drive, You Text, You Pay, which was the tagline in 2024, but it all means the same thing. Please, distracted driving is very real. And I know my wife, I guess I shouldn't put it, I'm selling her out here, but she got a ticket. She was really just trying to turn on her audiobook, but nonetheless, she did it right next to a police officer. It was suggested that she should take the safe driving course dealing with distracted driving. And she was, she was very appreciative because she didn't realize what the impact is of driving with your phone in your hand. And that is the equivalent of drunk driving in terms of the number of accidents and the attention paid to the road. So please, April 24th will be Operation Safe Stop as well, so that those rolling stops may come under a ticket. So please, as well, observe our stop signs. The DEA prescription take-back will be April 26th from 10 to 2 here at Empire State University. Henrietta Fire District reported that they've had 609 district-wide calls and 78 within the West Brighton portion of the fire district this past month. We also got word from Commissioner Hafner that the French Road Bridge detour plan is going to begin April 24th. Detour signage is being posted for that start date. Their pre-construction meeting is coming up on the 11th of April, and the town engineer is coordinating with the school about the detour and construction information because so many parents will be going to the French Road School through that detour. And Bill, the detour, again, will be coming out of French Road. Is that
Out of
correct?
French Road onto Winton. Yep,
So
right.
folks should be
So
prepared
anyone
for that.
Going into French
and
Road will
people-
have to follow the detour.
I'm sorry, please.
Anyone who has to go into French Road will have to follow the detour.
We'll have to follow the detour. So please plan on that as you're dropping your child off at French Road School.
And the reason for that is really that the French Road intersection is immediately adjacent to the can of worms, not the can of worms, the diverging diamond. Also, you have the Jewish home entrance right there. And the concern was that if it went the other way and it's one lane, that traffic would back up into Winton and potentially even impacting diverging diamond traffic. So the decision was made to have that one way going outbound from French Road towards Winton Road. And yeah, signage will be up. There'll be a lot more social media and other
And the school has,
direction for it. And the
alerted
school
the
is,
parents
yeah,
to
the
this.
school has alerted it, and of course, our public safety agencies are aware as well.
We also discussed the request for stop signs on Meridian Center Boulevard, at the Meridian Center Office Park, and the intersection with the Summit Circle Drive. Acting Commissioner Hafner is going to be checking the town code regarding signage requirements, and intends to contact Spall Management to inquire about a sign upgrade. They've got a very small stop sign as you leave the parking lot there. That, of course, is private property. And asking if perhaps they could install a sign that met our state standards and also do something to enhance pavement marking. Also, a potential stop sign was discussed regarding the intersection at St. Regis North and Mayflower. And the suggestion is that that would be an appropriate spot where the St. Regis comes into Mayflower, which is a required stop, but there is no sign there per se. And perhaps that we should upgrade that sign as well as any others similarly situated in that neighborhood. And the commissioner will review signage in the neighborhood and make recommendations to the town board to set a public hearing.
Yeah, we've come across a couple other spots like Fair Oaks at Hollywood too, where there should be a sign. So we're noting all of those, and then we'll bring it back to you guys.
Very good. And thanks, Bill. Next meeting will be May 13th at 0800 hours here at Empire State University campus.
Thank you, Chris. Christine, Public Works.
Yes, Public Works met immediately not immediately following Public Safety, a good half hour after Public Safety concluded.
Got through our agenda.
Very efficient.
You did well, too.
Yeah, and you set a good standard for the following meeting. So we met at 9 o'clock yesterday morning. It was a much briefer meeting than we've held in the past, which was due to great efficiencies on the part of staff and those attending. We received correspondence regarding the site plan for the town hall project and had some discussion about potential accommodations for pedestrian traffic flow through the site. We had an update on crosswalk requests in town, notably the Edgewood at Wintergreen Way planned crosswalk should be installed this season and will include an RRFB, which is something that neighbors in the area have advocated for strongly. And thank you very much for ensuring that we will have that installed this season.
You're welcome.
We also, back on the town hall renovation project subject, we heard that the abatement work is nearing completion and all building contractors are on site and proceeding with construction, keeping up with the schedule as planned. So we'll knock some wood, we stay on track that way. Brief discussion about Chelmsford Road safety issues. The town staff have requested that BPD do a speed check on the roadway. Residents are looking for some solutions for traffic calming through there. County projects of note, South Clinton Avenue from Westfall Road to the city line will get some attention from the county in the near future. And we have street lighting planned for that segment. And we know that we can proceed apace whether the county is doing work along the roadway or not. The lighting can go in as well. Town project updates. Of note, the Chelmsford Lane Culvert Replacement Project has now reached the stage where the state DOT is beginning right-of-way services for the project. Commissioner Hafner, would you like to explain a little more about that, the complexity of it?
On the easements, it's a lot easier for the state to obtain them, so.
And the reason they even get involved is because that project, like the French Road Culvert Project, will be funded through the Bridge New York
Correct.
program, which is great. And, we see this with a lot of grant programs. It obviously, having that financial support from the state or from another third party is very valuable. It can slow the process down, and it has and it will. On that project, but we remain committed to getting that bridge replaced and doing it at a cost that will be, minimal or nothing.
Better to cross all the Ts and dot all the Is and make sure that the funding stays in place for that. We also had a brief update on the Clean Energy Communities programs. The 2 town park buildings that are slated to have solar installed, the roof work is completed and the solar panel work on 4 buildings has begun. And forgive me, I don't recall which 4 buildings they will be. The town park buildings are, let's see if I can get this. Buckland Lodge, yes, and the Carmen Clark Lodge. And then the other 2 buildings are?
Meridian Center. I don't remember exactly.
I don't either. Well, we'll all do our homework, and when we come back in 2 weeks, we'll report that. But we need Brendan Ryan here. He's got the whole schedule in his head. And last, we addressed the issue of a tree at 75 Elwell Drive, and you will hear us set a public hearing for that later this evening. Public Works meets next on May 13th at 9 a.m. right here.
Which ones did you get, Christine? I'm going to try to, I thought I wrote it down. Meridian, Buckland Park Town Hall Pool Building, Buckland Lodge.
Yeah.
There you go. You
All right,
got it.
okay.
Nate for the win. All right.
Deep in the drafts of my notes here.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
And speaking of Nate, we'll go to new business and reading and approval of the claims.
Perfect. Thanks, Bill. Earlier today, I reviewed claims totaling $536,945.23. Notable claims include payment for the bond replacement for the Operations Center roof and principal interest payment for the 2024 bond dump truck with plow and sweeper truck. That one caught my eye because I think I talked about the sweeper truck. This was before Acting Commissioner Hafner, but I thought I was promised a ride on there, and I didn't get a ride, so I'm bringing that up now with Commissioner
Not just
Hafner.
going to be a ride, you're going to drive it.
It's on the record now. I'm doing it. And also a payment for Birchcrest Tree and Landscape, and payment for tree trimming at various locations with the bucket truck. And Bill, you should know that I also, we got compliments from constituents who reached out to me to say, hey, I came home and the tree was trimmed and it looks great. Thanks so much. So you guys are doing a great job out there.
Great, thank you.
Bill, all the claims appear to be in order, and I move for them to be approved.
Second?
I would just say, too, not only did, we hear comments like those, but after the heavy mixed precipitation we had, I guess, a little less than 2 weeks ago now, where there were some real drainage issues, got a lot of positive feedback that night after the sewer department came out and cleaned some of the storm drains. But again, remember, if you've got a storm drain in front of your house, please take a look at it. See if it's gotten clogged. We do have, the suction sweeper that helps, but we have literally hundreds of lane miles with goodness knows how many storm drains along them. So if you've got one in front of your house, it's sort of like shoveling out the fire hydrant, except, storm drains clog, really repeatedly if it rains, if they are clogged up. And of course, that goes along with, we're starting lawn and garden debris pickup formally next Monday. And please, the number of people that tell me, they hear me say this year round, it's true with leaves in the fall, but it's true with lawn and garden debris now in the spring. Please do not pile it in the street. Don't pile it halfway in the street. Put it in the grass. If you've got the tree lawn between the sidewalk and the street, put it there. If you don't have a sidewalk, put it on the grass, because it will drain. We saw it. We had, 2 inches of rain and sleet and all grapple and all that other stuff that day. And it really, stuff that was in the street wound up in the storm drains. And that's a real problem. So please, our crews will pick it up, but keep it on the grass.
Yeah, we really encourage everybody to containerize it when you can.
And containerize it, absolutely. The brown paper bags or your trash, some other kind of container.
And it litigates the chance of lawn damage or anything, from
Yep.
the crews picking it up, and keeps the streets nice and clean.
Absolutely, absolutely. But good job.
And I've been impressed with how much lawn debris you folks have picked up already.
Yeah.
Because I believe they've stopped twice out front of my house and neighbors and such.
Yep.
And, but if he gets to drive the sweeper, I got dibs on the Vector.
They're kind of the same now, so you're going to have to ride together.
A recipe for disaster.
But on Monday, you'll start seeing the map and the areas of town where
Yeah, we'll start updating the map.
Where they're working.
Town. Yep.
Okay, we have a motion. It's been seconded to read and approve the claims have been done. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll on the motion.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Mailer?
Aye. Chris, the next item.
Bill, the next item is to authorize the supervisor to enter into an agreement with the Bond, Schoenig, and King PLLC with respect to labor and collective bargaining matters for the Brighton Police Department with rates capped at $300 an hour. I move that we adopt the resolution before us.
Can I have a second, please?
Second?
The attorney that has handled our police labor-related work has moved his practice to the Bond, Schoenig, and King law firm. We had, interviewed and did some research into that firm as well as the continuing capabilities at the old firm. The billing rates are almost exactly the same, $300 an hour versus $295 an hour, and just the base of institutional knowledge that he has, again, most recently having led us successfully through some negotiations, we felt that it made sense. And the Bond, Schoenig, King firm is a large statewide firm with a lot of expertise, so we made the recommendation to go with that firm and stay with our existing attorney. We got a motion. It's been seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Mailer?
Aye. Robin.
Certainly. The next matter seeks to declare as junk one tow-behind brush chipper to be disposed of via online or in-person auction. I move that we adopt the resolution as prepared by the attorney to the town.
Second.
We discussed this in finance, and actually, the equipment has already been replaced, so. Any further discussion? Obviously, whatever we get in sale for it will go towards future purchases. Hearing nothing further, Dan, please call the roll on that motion.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Mailer?
Aye. Christine.
Yes, the next matter seeks to authorize the supervisor to enter into an amended agreement with Colliers Engineering and Design for the addition of MyoVision traffic count monitoring to the Multiversity Trail Plan, increasing the not-to-exceed amount of $74,795 by $4,860 for a total cost not to exceed $79,655. I move that we adopt the resolution before us.
Second.
Of course, that we heard about the Multiversity Trail Plan at our last meeting, and we've been getting updates on it on an ongoing basis. But those traffic count data points that were included in that plan were able to be generated because of this MyoVision traffic count system. So it was, I think, money well spent. We've got a motion to approve this amended agreement. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Mailer?
Aye. Robin, the next matter, please.
Certainly. The next matter seeks to approve the designation of Monroe Avenue as part of the Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad New York Scenic Byway. I move that we adopt the resolution as prepared by the attorney to the town.
Second.
Thank you. This is quite an extensive resolution that you have in your packet. Fitting, given that Harriet Tubman was quite a woman who really one of the nation's leaders in all the work that she did on the Underground Railroad and fighting slavery. Obviously, she is from Auburn, New York, the Auburn area, and this is an effort to create a scenic byway that will go across hundreds of miles, and in Brighton, it will go down Monroe Avenue. So the motion, the resolution you have in front of you that we have the motion on is a motion that has been prepared by the organization developing the scenic byway plan, and we're very proud to become a part of the Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad New York Scenic Byway. We have a motion, and it's been seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Mailer?
Aye. Chris, the last matter.
Bill, the next item is to set a public hearing for the removal and replacement of a 50-inch silver maple at 75 Elwell Drive. I move that we adopt the resolution before us, and that would be, the hearing would be our next town board meeting?
May 14th.
May 14th.
May 14th.
It's a 20-day
Yeah,
cycle.
20-day
that,
notice.
Notice, yeah.
Very good.
Second.
And you have the report attached indicating the condition of the tree. It's also in a, as you can see, it's elevated. It's immediately adjacent both to the curb and to the sidewalk. So,
Waiting.
right.
Growth area is severely restricted, to say the least.
So, we have a motion. It's been seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Mailer?
Aye. Matters of the supervisor, I do want to talk about a few things tonight. First, we have been mentioning the town hall project, but let me give an update on that. Again, backing up a little bit, we're here because of the major renovations being done to town hall, which are driven by an antiquated HVAC system. We're replacing that with a new sustainable geothermal system, but that project is an opportunity to update the building in many ways, starting with what really may be the most visible part of the project as you're going down the street, the new accessibility ramps that will be going in at the front entrance, but we'll also be making technology improvements, security improvements, a number of just aesthetic, user-friendly improvements, and finally, related to that, repaving and reconfiguring the parking field to improve safety, both for traffic calming and also for pedestrian safety. The work, of course, relates to the main town hall building, primarily not to the library wing or the public safety wing, although there is a little bit of overlap between those two areas. Asbestos remediation has been completed on the main floor of Town Hall. It's continuing on the lower level of the building, but that has enabled mobilization and work to start with respect to the upstairs. But the next major phase of construction is going to be the drilling of approximately 24 geothermal wells in the area behind and to the sort of northwest of the town hall building itself. As we've discussed, those wells are being drilled in the portion of the town hall campus where the playground is currently located and in the adjacent parking area. The new fencing has been installed around the affected area. And before the actual drilling begins, the old playground equipment will be removed. And that playground is nearly 30 years old. It's part of our town-wide program to replace and upgrade our playgrounds. And in particular, this one will be replaced with a very accessible playground, not just the minimum ADA standards, but a truly accessible playground. To that end, the existing Sway Fund glider, which was a donation by the Brighton Kiwanis Club, will be incorporated into that playground, as will the benches that Brighton Kiwanis previously donated. We really appreciate the support of Brighton Kiwanis in the playground campus at Town Hall. And it's important that neighbors be aware that the drilling will generate some noise. That drilling will take some time. The wells go down to nearly 500 feet. There'll be 24 of them, so they do take time. We expect that work will be continuing through approximately the end of July. As we've announced, the playground will not be available. The playground at Town Hall will not be available for use this summer, nor will the swimming pool. The plans still are, we will be, as really a separate project, the swimming pool, which itself is antiquated, and we appreciate the messaging from the community that that pool is important. We will be rehabilitating that, making the pool accessible to the community, but also adding a splash pad and a new accessible playground that I was just mentioning. So we're really making sure that Town Hall, we've talked about the library tonight, there's a real synergy there, all of these family-friendly activities that will be able to be found at Town Hall. But of course, work on projects like those while construction's going on, you don't want kids playing on a playground or in a splash pad immediately adjacent to construction work. So that's not going to be able to be completed until after work on the project as a whole is completed. So more to follow on what that schedule is going to be. But it's really important we hear these messages. The pool is still going to be renovated. Don't worry. It's not this year, but it is going to be renovated. And we are going to be reaching out to the community as plans are developed for that project so that the community can see and give some additional input on what this new recreational facility at Town Hall will look like. And I want to remind everybody that the funding was received through grants that the town obtained from Senator Jeremy Cooney and Assembly Member Sarah Clark, $1.2 million for those recreational facilities. We talked about the French Road Culvert project. Again, that construction is going to start later this month, continue through the summer. Traffic on French Road will be one lane over that culvert outbound towards Winton Road. And we're going to have signage, detour signs, the electronic signs, trying to give the public as much information as possible. The detour route, which goes north on Winton Road from French Road to Westfall. Then it goes east on Westfall to Edgewood, south on Edgewood to French Road, right there where French Road School is, and then across west on French Road and across the one-lane bridge during construction. It's a bit of a lengthy detour just based on the fact that there aren't a lot of through streets in that area. So we want to encourage folks to plan accordingly as they make their trips, particularly to school or to Eastbrook, the various condominium and other residential areas near there. Our emergency providers are notified. We've had meetings about that here as part of our Public Safety Committee. As I mentioned, it's being funded through the Bridge New York program, and there's information about the project, including the detour, on the town's webpage, www.townofbrighton.org. Finally, we had some great news, I think, last week. We announced that we have settled litigation that the town of Brighton brought against Icon Energy, which was DBA Source Power. That was the company that supplied electricity to customers in Brighton under the Community Choice Aggregation, or CCA, program. That was a green energy program that we initiated in 2020. We had competitive bidding. We identified not only our CCA program manager, but through competitive bidding, Icon Energy was the energy supply company, but unfortunately, they breached their contract with the town, and we sued. It was a class action lawsuit on behalf of all of the over 10,000 households in the town who, during all or part of the CCA program, were customers of the CCA. You'll remember, if you were a residential or, in some cases, small business RG&E customer, you became a part of the Community Choice Aggregation Green Energy Program unless you opted out of it. And under that program, we got a great fixed price on green energy, was what was promised to us. And in fact, pricing rose during the contract. So that fixed price element was really important. So for the last 6 months, after Icon breached the contract, our residents were switched back to an RG&E plan where they had to pay more money. So customers will be receiving nearly $1 million in settlement of that class action. That will be paid following final judicial approval of the class action settlement plan, which we expect will occur in September. If you're happy with that settlement, and you can get information in more detail than you ever thought possible, the full notice to class members is posted on the town's webpage now. We encourage you to read it if you were a CCA program participant. But if you are happy with the terms of the settlement, you don't have to do anything. If you want to either opt out of that settlement or stay in, but challenge the terms of the settlement, there are deadlines in May for action that you would have to take. But otherwise, to receive the class action settlement, no action is needed at this time. Our administrator of the class action, you will be getting a check. How much will the check be? If you started in the program but later opted out, you will be getting about $40 per household. If you stayed with the program for the entire program, you all right, Chris? If you stayed in the program, you will be getting a larger settlement check, somewhat over $100 we anticipate for most households. The exact amount will depend on your electricity usage during the claims period. And again, I just want to note that more information is on that notice on the webpage. John, anything I missed? Anything you want me to?
That was a great summary.
All right, good. And I think it's important to note, the problem wasn't with the concept of community choice aggregation. In fact, you've heard me tell the story, learning about it from the folks who started community choice aggregation in the state of New York down in Westchester County. We heard that. I was part of a small group of people that got to listen to them, that then teacher and community activist, and now Monroe County legislator Sue Hughes Smith's house. It made sense then, it makes sense now. Unfortunately, our supplier breached their contract. But as we go forward, now that the litigation has been settled, it's one of the things we will continue to look at as a possible future green energy program. Again, as we talked about, our climate action plan, our Envision Brighton comprehensive plan, we will continue to find ways to reduce our carbon footprint, reduce greenhouse gas emissions. That's all I have. Matters of the attorney to the town.
Thank you, Supervisor. Nothing to report tonight. Just requesting one executive session leading to the employment of a particular person.
Thank you. Matters of the town clerk. Dan?
Nothing this evening?
Matters of the town board.
I just wanted to say, I wanted to echo your sentiment you gave earlier about the National Library Week. And I'm the town board liaison to the library. and I get to see firsthand how hard those volunteers work and their staff. And I also, with you know, an 11th month old, I go there almost every day, and I can vouch for. You know, Mariano has a favorite staff member who always greets him and remembers his name. And you know, there's books for Samantha and I to pick up, and also play trains with Mariano. And it just, you know, the team there does such a great job. And you know, as a Brighton resident, I'm very proud of the library, and I think I speak on behalf of all of us and many residents in our town as well.
Thank you. It's great. Great always to hear that. Thank you to our ASL interpreters again. We appreciate it. Can I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss the employment of particular people?
Bill, I move that we go into executive session to discuss the employment of particular people.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Dan, please call the roll on that motion.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Manley?
Aye. Our next meeting will be 2 weeks from tonight, Wednesday, April 23rd, here in this room at Empire State University. I don't anticipate that we will be coming back into public session after our executive session. So thank you for watching or being here tonight, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a great evening. And good Pesach, happy Easter to everybody celebrating holidays between now and then.
Oh my gosh, that's right.